and welcome, fellow subscribers and other racing fans. Today, just a short episode, and the topic is start times, launch times of GT3 cars. Well, why did I choose this topic? The matter is ESL. If you have watched my ESL experience last Sunday, you have seen that I lost a race where I was, well, maybe not faster, but as fast as my opponent, but I lost the start and he drove away and yeah, well, I was a little bit hot-headed and I couldn't follow him because I was not concentrating enough. But it was really, well, I really hated to lose the start like that because that basically means you lose the race. It was at this time Willow Springs, but it's the same for the Nürburgring Nordschleife. Lose the start, lose the race. So I investigated which cars are starting out the fastest and which are really slow. Well, the first thing I have to say about that, in the meantime the ESL changed the rules. We are now starting with a rolling start, no standing start anymore. So the following information is practically useless for the ESL experience. However, since I made the investigations, I want to share it with you nonetheless. So, what did I do? I took all GT3 and GTE cars, put them in similar or the same conditions, which are Willow Springs track, clear weather. The ambient temperature was 29 degrees Celsius, the track temperature 41. I put 20 liters of fuel in them, reduced the aerodynamics to 0 at all of the cars. I didn't use traction control and I used default gearbox settings. You could say, okay, that's not so good because the GTE cars, they have better gearbox settings. You can set each gear individually. However, I used default because I think you will have disadvantages if you use shorter gears just for a start. Huge disadvantages. So what's the first thing I noticed? The data which is given from P-cars in-game. As you can see already, it's totally useless. It's nothing like the real data I measured. So if you want to know how fast a car launches or starts or goes from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour, which is by the way comparable to 0 to 60 miles per hour for our American friends, you can see it's rubbish. Don't trust on these numbers. Second thing I know for ESL, the Bentley and also the GTE cars, the Aston Martin GTE and the BMW GTE car, the M3 GT, they are technically not allowed for ESL, so yeah, I just put them in for completeness. So second thing, I measured all cars for 0 to 100 kilometers per hour. Why did I that? Well, that's basically the first 3 to 4 seconds where you can be in front of your opponent and be in front of your opponent till the first corner. However, that was not enough for me. I thought about tracks where you are on a straight for quite a long time. So cars who have more horsepower or something like this, they could overtake you in the situation. Although you won the start, they could overtake you before the first corner because they just have more horsepower. So I also tested the 0 to 180 kilometers. Now, what are the results? You can see the Bentley is in front of everyone. This is partly due to the track I chose. This is Willow Springs. Keep in mind, Willow Springs is like 600 or something like this meters above sea level, so turbo-driven cars, they have an advantage. Although this advantage is really much, especially for the 180 kilometer setting. I mean, it's 1 second faster than the next fastest car, right? Which is ridiculously fast. Also, the opposite, the Ginetta, it is just so much slower than all the other cars. It's well, in German you would say it's a Gurke, which means cucumber. It's just nothing you want to drive in a competitive way. A thing which is rather astonishing is the Audi R8 LMS Ultra. It was really fast from the get-go, and it was the fastest car together with the McLaren on 180 kilometers per hour. I didn't really think the Audi would be that fast, but it was. So that's something to think about. The Aston, unfortunately, really slow starting car, although the default gearing is the minimum gearing allowed, so the shortest first gear allowed. It's just not fast enough in a starting situation. Best car overall, I think, is the Audi. The C4 is also very nice because it has a fast starting time. The M3 GT also, but you don't want to use it on the track, unfortunately, because it's too slow. And the roof RGT8 is also quite fast. So if you want to have a ranking, Audi C4 roof for the fastest starting cars, and also the McLaren is quite fast on 180 kilometers per hour, but again, this is a turbo-driven car, and at Willow Springs, a track which is quite high above sea level. So, well, I hope I could enlighten you a little bit if you ever come in the situation of a race start, and hope you can use this information then. Okay, this is for now. See you later. Bye bye. Our topics today. The first topic will be the new community made Spotter app. I will put link and everything in the description, and now here.
On your left.
Did you hear that?
Clear left.
On my left, still there, clear left. Well,